Good morning, Eric. How are you, you lying sack? Oh, Princess, how is your morning? How is it waking up to pots and pans in your ear? Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Let's pray. You save her, Jamaica, even though you don't even know how to save yourself. Woo-hoo! Help me, Jesus, help me, Lord. Give me that magic ping pong ball this morning.
Get your clothes and go upstairs.
Sweet taters. Sweet taters. Sweet taters. Sweet taters.
And now, it's time for the Sweet Potato Podcast featuring Matt and Theron.
Wow, so everyone, we are here with the winner of Big Brother Season 8, and I would say the most villainous and my favorite house guest ever to enter the Big Brother house, Evel Dick Donato. Evel Dick, welcome to the Sweet Potato Podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We talked about this. I'm so grateful that you decided to join us today, and very excited.
Yeah, this is huge. You've been a big part.
Shit hanging up here.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. I moved to Dublin in August 1st. Okay, that's like 6 months ago, and they have these like washer dryer combo things, and they don't like totally dry your clothes. Like it's like almost dry, but not dry. So you have to like hang them up for like days and like let them like dry out. So that's what's going on over here. If you're wondering,
That's wonderful.
anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So we got a cameo video from you, and you were mentioning that
Shut up, really?
Yeah, it was right before you
Yeah.
you were moving to Ireland, and you told us about it. And that's when in that video you were like, "What do you call your fans? The sweet taters, the tater heads?" And then we rolled with it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and that was our second ever episode.
yeah,
You were
so-
the main event was watching the cameo you made for us, and then we got another one from you for our Christmas special. And then you gave us a little tour of your apartment in Dublin.
That's right after I moved in.
Yeah.
Man, I had a rough start here, man. I got to be honest. But like once I finally I bought this place, and it's still not finalized. When the fuck I think the offer was accepted September. I think maybe middle of September, something like that. And it's dragging on and on and on. Everyone is so fucking slow here. It's just really unbelievable. It makes me insane. Like I want to paint the place. I want to do a bunch of shit that needs to be done. But it's until the sale closes, like I'm not going to put in all that time, money, and effort.
Yeah.
And if something happens, like, whoop. So, but I really like it here. I really like it here. My place over here. I got like my front window. Where's my windows? I can't even see in there. Oh, my front windows, like over here, there, and then out the balcony. The sunrises every morning are just fucking amazing. I post them on Facebook and Twitter, and like it's just really nice. I went for it was like 6 mile hike today. Went up and saw some monoliths. They call them this ancient stone.
Yeah, I saw
altar.
that on Twitter.
Yeah, really, really cool shit, man. And another part of the hike went to like down the stream. It's just so nice and so pretty here. So I live in South Dublin. And it's just like all cities that like most cities have like the ring freeway that goes around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm just on the other side of the freeway. So I'm still in Dublin, but it's like suburb, which it's nice. About a half an hour, 40 minutes into the city center. But I really like it here. So
Probably nicer than Orlando right now. So
fuck, I hated Orlando. I really did. Like if you're not like a Disney maniac or a Universal or just a theme park, which I wouldn't mind the theme parks like every now and again. But I would only go in the wintertime because they were so fucking crowded. And you always get people coming into town like, hey, it's July or August. come with me to Disney. I'm like, fuck you, man. You're there all day long. You're just sweating your balls off. You're paying through the nose for everything, and you're waiting online for 3 hours, and you end up going on like 3 rides the whole fucking day. It's like, how
No,
fun
yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
They say it's the happiest place on earth, but I disagree with that
Yeah,
statement.
it's just kind of miserable.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, that sounds fun. You mentioned in one of the cameos that I didn't know this, that you can drive on an American license for like about a year before you have to get a
yeah,
European one.
I keep telling myself I'm like getting kind of like lackadaisical about it, and I have until like next I think September
Yeah.
until to have it done. But I need to get it out of the way. But it's such a major pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah.
I get my American license for a year. But in order, and this is what's so fucked up. It just is so annoying. If you come from any other EU country, like it doesn't matter if because some EU countries drive on the right, some of them drive on the left. It's
Hmm.
like weird, but they can't even like we can't even get that shit together. What side of the car to put the fucking steering wheel? You know what I mean? It's like yeah, like there's never going to be peace and peace on earth. We can't even fucking get on the same side of the street to drive.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It's weird. If you're from any other EU country, you come into their motor vehicles, Department of Motor, whatever it's called here, and you hand them your license, and they give you Irish license. Like that's it. If you're from the United States, it like specifically says the United States, they treat you as if you've never driven a car before. You have to take a theory test in order to get your permit. Then you have to take, I think it's 12 lessons, but I can petition since I've been driving for like 40 years or whatever.
Yeah.
You can petition to have it brought down to 6 lessons, but I have to take like literally 6 driving lessons with an instructor in the car.
Uh,
It's like you're going like 15 fucking I did this at 15 fucking years old, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
now you gotta redo it. That's
So
some
that's
bullshit.
Weird,
that's
man.
only if you're from the United States. That's not
Yeah,
from any
I
other.
think the United States and Canada,
Mm,
Okay. Huh.
but it like specifically says the United States or United States and Canada.
That's
Um,
weird.
yeah, it's totally weird. And I'm like, I've been driving longer than you've been alive, lady. What the fuck?
yeah.
I
Well,
couldn't believe it when I found out. So yeah, it is what it is. So,
no, that's wild. But I sometimes wish I didn't live here, in America right now. So I envy you. I envy you.
what state are you in?
So we are both from Mass.
Massachusetts.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's
It
funny
does.
'cause, like my friend here, Larissa. Oh my God, I met Larissa like 20 years ago. I met Larissa 20 years ago. We shared a cab, her and her boyfriend at the time, and I'm still friends with both of them. We shared a cab like coming from the Guns N' Roses concert or some crazy bullshit like that. And like 20 years later, we're still like great friends. So when I first moved here, she got me. I should have said no, but she talked me into doing this political panel. She started off as the she had like a column back when newspapers, were
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
before the internet and all that shit. She had a column and she was like, did a music column. And I think like, I don't know, my second or third trip out here, she interviewed me because I did the Pirates thing where I was Keith Richards' double in Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
Yeah.
And she's like, "That relates to music, I can use that." So she did an interview with me for that. And then after Big Brother, I don't know, she tied it into music somehow or another. But over the years, she's like, she's like one of the big editors at I think it's the Irish Times. Now, where was I going with this fucking story? There was a point. I was going somewhere. She talked me into she was doing a political panel before the election and asked me if I would go on. And she said it was like after I said yes, it's like you were like one of the only people that were left leaning or liberal or whatever that I could like find. And it's like, are you fucking kidding? Like most of the people I talk to here are liberal, but
Yeah.
in her and there's like what I find is really weird. And I just kind of went off with people. I'm like, like some, and all of them on the panel were reporters and writers. So it was like they're way more informed in certain ways in politics, yes, than I
Yeah.
am. But life experience was a whole different thing. Like I started off like my time, I was like, who here can actually vote in the United States presidential election? Anyone? And oh, me, I can. No one else? Oh, how funny is that? And then I said something like, everybody's going off about like this and that and all this bullshit. And what did I say? I said, I'm the only one here that has lived in a blue state in California most of my life. And I left California, I think it's like 14 years ago now. I moved to Colorado, in with a girl. Hey, knock it off. You cat. Um, I moved to Colorado with my ex-girlfriend for a few years, and then I don't know, I came here for a while, and I was back in California with my mom when she was like dying. And then I moved to Florida for 10 years before I like came out here. But I've seen what the Democrats did in California, and more so when you leave a place and then go back, you know what I mean? You can see the change.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And going back like after the pandemic, holy fuck. It was such a fucking shit show. Los Angeles and Hollywood was such a fucking shit show with all of the homeless tenting every fucking where. And like even like the cul-de-sacs of neighborhoods. It was just a fucked up mess, man. And like that's the democratic governance that got that city to where it was. On the other hand, I lived in Florida for 10 years. And when I moved to Florida, it was a purple state. And when I left, it's Florida now is like deep red.
Yeah.
But I've
Yeah.
seen what's that fucking ballhead the senator now? He was the governor before. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Rick Scott, who was like should have been in jail for Medicare fraud. But, no, seriously, look up the
No,
biggest
no, I believe you. Yeah.
Medicare fraud ever in the United States. It's Rick Scott. He's now a U.S. senator. Hey, and DeSantis. And I watched what happened in that state, and I watched as a homeowner in that state, all of the insurance companies fleeing, and I saw like all of the insurance fraud. They're like people are like, oh, it's the hurricanes, what's the way they're leaving. No, it's the fucking fraud.
Yeah.
When I did a new roof on my house, it's so funny because you talk to your friends, you know what I mean? It's like, it's fucking expense, a big expense. And every single person said the same thing. Wait for the next hurricane to come through. I got a number of an adjuster and he'll blame it all on the hurricane. You get a free roof. And that's what every fucking body was doing there. And it's like, don't you think that this is going to like affect like everybody's rates?
Yeah.
And my insurance rates went from it was I think it was like $600 or $700 a year when I first bought the house. And by the time I left 10 years later, I think it was like 7 or 8,000 a year. Like it went up like that much. Like it was ridiculous. And all the companies were just like leaving in droves. And there's a huge teacher shortage.
Yeah.
I think it's like 30,000. They're short 30,000 teachers, something like that. And Florida just tested 20% dumber than they were however many years ago because they're taking all of the money from the public schools and they're giving all the parents vouchers and they're running to these religious schools. And it's a way for the red states to funnel money into the church, and because they want God in schools and blah 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 and all this shit. And like, but this is what's happening. And all the they passed the don't say gay bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember
yes.
that was yeah, like a few years ago, like 2 or 3,
Yeah, that's
something
when
like that. Yeah,
DeSantis got into a war with
That was
Disney.
Disney.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And because they're like, we can't support this. They have a fucking million gay employees. Like, what the fuck is Disney supposed to say?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And DeSantis like declared war on Disney. It's like what a fucking shit show. It's like Disney was here way before you douchebag, and
And-
they're gonna be way here long after you're fucking dead in the ground.
And I could be wrong, but I think he got married at a Disney park, to his current
Probably.
wife. So it was very
Wow.
very weird.
Casey DeSantis.
Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping bad things for her when she had cancer.
Oh,
Such a bad
Ah.
human. I know.
well, that's Evil Dick. That's Evil Dick. Well,
Oh, I did.
There's a huge teacher shortage because they're all fleeing. One of my cousin is a teacher in Florida, and he's like, I'm thinking about going into something else. What happens is, like he explained it to me. He's like, if I was gay, and I have a picture, let's just say, people have, whether they're in offices, wherever they are, you have a picture of your spouse on your desk. It's a normal
Yeah.
thing. If a student came up and said, "Oh, who's that?" and you say, "My husband," you're fired.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucked up. So it's really turned, the whole state has turned like into this battleground. It's just strange to me. Anyhow, fuck politics. Let's get on to something
Yeah.
else.
Let's get
I
on
did-
to yeah.
I did find, because you said to look it up. I did find Rick Scott, and it says here, the U.S. Department of Justice won 14 felony convictions against the company that he was using to defraud Medicare, and they were fined $1.7 billion.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So yeah, insane.
He should have
Absolutely
never
insane.
been elected governor. He should have been in jail. He was elected governor for 2 terms, and then now he's a senator. DeSantis his time is running out as governor. I think he's got 2 more years, and then because there's term limits there. But DeSantis changes everything. There was like anything that goes against what he wants, he just changed the law. It's fucking ridiculous. There was a law that said, if you're governor of Florida, you cannot run for president without giving up the governorship.
Yeah.
And he just changed the law in order for him to do that.
Yep.
He ran, against Trump this last go round. It's just such horseshit, man. It's so fucking corrupt. But
Yeah.
fuck DeSantis, fuck politics. Let's get on to something else.
Let's get on
All
to
right.
what's better than
So-
politics but Big Brother, right?
We're talking about Morgan, what a hot piece of ass Morgan is.
So
Yeah.
I'm talking about Morgan, winner of Big Brother, BBOTT.
Oh god, over the top. Do you think they should bring that back, that format?
No,
Yeah, I agree.
no, I think that cast should have been on television.
Yeah.
It was a good cast.
Do you
Very good cast.
do
I
you-
hated Jason. Douchebag.
he was. Do you
I'm so glad
consider
about it.
Morgan in the winner circle with you?
No, it was different. The online it's like Celebrity was different.
Yeah,
So,
Mm.
I agree.
But then again, to be honest with you, it's like I don't consider like half of these people that win now like really like let's be
Yeah.
honest. Who was that guy, Jag, the guy with the turban?
Jag Baines, yeah.
yes,
It seems like a very nice guy, but he was fucking evicted. Like who should
Yeah.
should be can't vote for somebody to win that's already lost a fucking game.
Well, that
This is-
season was
This is why I stopped covering Survivor and stuff.
Yeah.
Survivor turned into such a piece of shit. Like Survivor used to be cool. Survivor used to have integrity. Jeff Probst is just like, I fucking hate Jeff Probst. I think he's a douchebag. He's full of shit, and he's like, he I don't know. I don't remember what this stupid like advantage or a superpower, whatever the fuck. There's so much bullshit going on that you need a fucking scorecard.
yeah.
How many people have advantages? How many people have idols? How many people have this? How many has half of one?
Yeah.
And this one's only good if you connect with the other 2 people that have. So people are going into a challenge like all the oxen free, waiting for somebody else to say something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You watch some
So
It's the most-
yeah.
fucking ridiculous horse shit.
Well,
I'm just like, it turned into just a woke shit fest.
That's
Where it's
why
like,
we like the Traders. I don't know if you've watched that yet.
no, I'm giving up on reality
No,
television.
I don't blame you, but I like the format where they
People
bring,
seem to like that show.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
bringing past players from a bunch of different shows.
Yeah.
And the format's it's pretty simple, and I think that anyone can play it. Unlike Big Brother now, where I feel like they've kind of dumbed down a
Yeah.
lot of the
I
stuff.
also I think that, and Dick, I'm sure I don't know if you might agree with this, or but I feel like part of the issue is that these shows like Survivor and Big Brother, they go on for so long, and the producers feel like they need to do something different, and they end up just introducing all these stupid shitty gimmicks, and it just kind of messes up like the what the base of the show
But the
was.
shows are they're not even the same shows that they were in.
Right.
Not at all.
Survivor,
No.
especially. Like I don't know. Like I always think that just the show was fine. Why are you fucking with it?
Yeah.
And Jeff Probst thinks, Jeff Probst is just such a fucking arrogant cocksucker. Like I fucking hate him. I fucking like Jeff Probst, suck my fucking dick. I fucking hate that guy. He turns around, he's like, "Oh, Owen, if you have any suggestions to make Survivor better, just tweet me and I'll ignore it." And it's like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. It's like he thinks that he knows so much. Well, why are your ratings right in the fucking toilet? You fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I know they're
You know?
on what 48 now. I don't know. They want they're
Listen, all of these shows, let's be honest. Like the honest truth is this. These shows, all of them, CBS got fucking struck by lightning 3 times. How many shows on CBS have lasted 25 fucking years? No, let's be honest. Like, I think NCIS is the only other show, like the Tonight Show, that's not even like
no.
CBS.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, how many fucking television shows are on the air for 25 fucking years? It's like not many,
No.
but yet Brother is, Survivor is, and The Amazing Race, even though it's like not on half of the time,
Yeah.
probably more than that now, but it's still all 3 of those shows started in the year 2000, and they got so fucking lucky with it. All these shows now have jumped the shark, and they should have been done and over a long time ago. Like, let's be real. But the television ratings are in the toilet all
They
across
show.
the
Yeah.
board.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they're just gonna fucking like ride it until it's like dead.
Yeah.
Big Brother was in like the 2 millions. Uh, and it's like some episodes went under 2 million, which is like unheard of because no shows would ever they would if they aired a show back in the day and had 2 million viewers, you would never see that fucking show again.
Yeah.
There was a show there was a show called Hidden Talents of the Stars, and they had the first episode had George Takei from
Oh,
Star Trek, and he was like playing guitar and singing a country song, like something like fucking ridiculous.
What the hell?
Uh, and they played one episode, and it never aired again. And I was friends with Bridget Marcourt from uh, The Girls Next Door, the Playboy, one of the 3 Playboy chicks,
Mm.
and she was supposed to be on episode 2, doing trapeze stuff. And she was like, telling me, "I'm so upset. I was all ready. I've been practicing and da-da-da-da-da." And she was like ready to do her trapeze stuff, and she didn't get to do it because the show was canceled. But they would never put up with those kind of ratings. They're absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
Under 2 million. And like, who the fuck is doing the programming at CBS? Because whoever it is needs their fucking ass fired. There was like episodes last Big Brother that were like one of them aired at 11:30 on Sunday.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
No, nobody is up at 11:30 at night on Sunday. Like fucking nobody.
And I think it was like a shitter episode, Like I think that the live evictions there can kind of be interesting, but then there's the filler episodes leading up to it where you could not watch and understand what happened. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
And then they have those didn't they have 2 walk down memory lane
They did.
stupid last season?
Yeah.
Hey, like, what the fuck? They're just like, just need like gaps filled. Big Brother, for them, it's something that airs 3 times a week. It fills prime time, 3 hours a week for the entire summer. CBS cannot get anything, and I mean this, anything else to stick in the summertime. They tried, they went through this phase where they tried licensing books, and they would like make it into like a mini series or whatever, and then they would like drag it onto like two, I think like 2 summers or something. Like one was The Dome, like a Stephen King books, The Dome, and then did that. Then they did one, I think it was The Zoo, not James Patterson, or I don't know. And then like that kind of went away, and then they went into this thing of doing like a game shows,
Yeah.
that trying to fill like these time slots with game shows, and like the ratings were horrible, and they never lasted more than 1 season. And I think that this summer they just kind of, oh, and then they had Love Island,
Yes.
that's on for 2 seasons, but the ratings were so horrible. I think the only reason that it was on 2 seasons was they signed a contract for two,
Yeah.
that they had to air for 2 seasons. Because that show it's still huge here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the UK version. I'm not in the UK, but we get the television from UK.
Mhm.
Is that show is like massive.
Yeah, there's an the UK All Stars Love Island's going on like right now, but then
Oh,
we
is it?
have but then we have Love Island USA, and that does really well, but it's a Peacock original. It's the
Yeah, I
NBC
think that
app.
Peacock took it after
They did.
CBS.
Yeah.
CBS like they might have done it for 3 seasons because they put it 2 seasons on television. Then they did 1 season on Paramount Plus.
Mm.
It went to Peacock after that. I think they picked it up.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense because last year it was like USA season 6, and it hit mega ratings, and it was all over everywhere. So many people were into it. So I think a lot of the shows are doing much better on the services versus the cable TV.
I don't know. That's it was like Robin Cass, who was the casting director, was the casting director for Big Brother. She, when they got Love Island, she started casting Big Brother and Love Island. And immediately I'm like, this is an enormous mistake. She like prides herself and always is touting, I have more couples than more marriages than The Bachelor. And I'm like going, who gives a fuck? This
Yeah,
isn't
no.
a show.
Yeah.
I don't watch Big Brother for this bullshit.
No.
No. But she would always be like, oh, yeah, I did. Oh, more married, blah, blah, blah. And when she started doing that show, I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare for Big Brother because now all she's doing is moving people back and forth.
Oh yeah.
And what she's doing is she's casting all of Love Island and then just dividing them and who's going to be better on Big Brother. That's what she's doing. And I'm like, this is going to be terrible for the show. And it was. But she also, the reason I think she got fired from Big Brother was that all the racists that she
Yeah.
cast on the show.
Yeah.
There was like at least 2 to 3 seasons in a row where it was constant. BB25 had one that the guy that
They
got
cast all those
removed.
motherfuckers out of
It's-
the Texas colleges.
Exactly.
And I don't know, Texas. You sound like a bunch of racist motherfuckers to me. Get your university squared away.
I know. But then I don't know. This year I heard a rumor that, or I saw it online, that the casting director for 26 was the same people from Traitors Peacock. And that's why they casted a more different cast this year, like how we got, people like Mackenzie, who should have been on Love Island. And then we got like Angela.
Honestly, I can't even really remember any of these people. Oh, Mackenzie was the really stupid one that gave the game away.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
But then they got like
stupid girl.
they got Tucker, the guy, he loved puzzles, but he got evicted.
No, that guy, he was entertaining to watch. This is my synopsis of Tucker. Entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
Really fun to watch. what an idiot. Like really. There was something really weird that happened at the end. And I don't know what it was, but it's like every week he's like so confident. He's like going on the block. They did whatever that fucking competition was at the before they were evicted.
The
Three,
AI.
yeah, the AI.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
AI Arena.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a
I
stupid
forget,
idea that was.
I forget
Too.
what they even call it, but like he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'll beat you all in that. And
Yeah.
he's like so confident. But yet the last week when he went, he kept going, well, I don't know. I don't know. I might not be here. And I kept saying, like on my recaps, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him. But all of a sudden, like all of his confidence is completely gone. And like something's fucking weird. But it's like, dude, like he was like flying by the seat of his pants, and like the stuff he was doing was fun to watch, but it was fucking stupid and it was horrible gameplay.
It was
It
really
was
bad.
really horrible gameplay.
When he outed his showmance and then like made her upset, and
Oh,
it's just our drama
that
was so
what
dumb.
what a pussy. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you're a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Oh, first off, the thing that they did was like basically like you could drop bombs on the house
Yeah.
and like out whatever and really, really fuck with people. But he was so stupid that what was the point of even what he said?
I don't
It was
know.
stupid.
It
Um,
was to hurt, but he more or less he broke his own relationship with his showmance. Like I don't know what he accomplished.
it was just stupid. And she started crying. And then when she started crying, he like literally fell apart because he
Yeah.
really liked her.
Hmm.
But it's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You could have used that and you could have done anything with it. And
Yeah.
you could have really fucked this house up.
Yeah.
And this is what you did. Oh, I made my own girlfriend cry. Like fucking moron.
No, it was dumb.
Angela, like Angela, fun to watch just because she was like an idiot. But like, I honestly, if I was playing with her, I would have made sure that she was gone immediately.
Yeah.
Because when you have somebody that's so unpredictable and such a wild card that you can't trust them with anything, they got to go.
Her.
You
Yeah.
need people in there that are predictable. Even if they're not on your side, they're on the opposite side. It doesn't matter. You still need somebody that's like steady and predictable, and you know what you can expect out of them. And her fucking she was like out of her fucking tree.
She was. And one last thing about BB26. I met Kenny the cop from 26 like last weekend. He was a very
Oh,
very nice person to talk to, but then I was thinking about the gameplay and I was like, oh, he was pretty bad. He wanted to be sent home like for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
all terrible. It was like I kept going, this is an entertaining season with zero strategy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I forget the winner's name, the black girl. What was her name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Very, very unlikable
Hmm.
to start with. Did you find her likable?
I really didn't. The only reason I was somewhat rooting for
She
her
was like
was
really like unlikable.
she was very unlikable. I picked her
Yeah.
for fantasy league. We did like a fantasy league Big Brother and I won because of her. But when it came down to like that final three, it was her, Mackenzie, and then Cam. And Cam didn't talk more than 5 words the entire season.
I don't even know who's Cam.
He was the
I don't even remember these people. I watch the show.
and
I
review
talk
it, yeah.
about the show. I do my episodes at like an hour and a half, 2 hours after every episode. I can't remember who. You're gonna make me look up who this motherfucker is.
He was the shout out to the dogs in the crib guy.
Oh, he played Penn
That
State
guy.
football.
Yeah.
That guy
What
played
a
Penn State.
worthless piece of shit. This guy did fucking nothing. This college athlete couldn't win a competition if he was the only one competing in the competition. He would lose to himself. He was fucking terrible.
Huge
And-
disappointment. Huge disappointment.
I think
So
you
it's like-
yeah.
The whole season, I feel like it was just like a bunch of people, and it doesn't even seem like anyone cares about like actual like game strategy anymore in terms of Big Brother. Like that's what I felt watching.
And then what happens
the
is like at the
parts of the
very like
season.
last 3 weeks, Chelsea has some strategy and like used Mackenzie or whatever, and it's like, ooh, she's a mastermind. It's like she fucking sat on her fucking
Yeah.
thumb for 3/4 of the fucking game. Couldn't, she like won one thing, I think. And she only did anything after all the competitors like booted each other out of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That happened. That used to happen like every once in a while. So like, what's he's 11? See that how Jordan won.
Mhm.
That's how Jordan won.
Yeah.
When you had Jeff and Russell going after each other, and then like the other minions underneath them, like taking each other out. Pectacular and his group of crying women.
Yep.
That whole funeral thing. Yeah, it was like so that would happen like every once in a while, but like now it's just like it happens all the time.
Well,
So you
yeah.
have these people that sleep for 3/4 of the fucking season, and it's like, oh, there's 3 weeks left. Oh, maybe I should start playing. And it's like, you fucking suck.
Well, that's kind of like what happened with Bowie Jane.
Oh
in,
my God.
Bowie Jane.
Fucking Bowie Jane.
A waste of fucking skin.
Bowie Jane. Well, that's the thing is we were watching
And her stupid little hair. I want to cut those little fucking pixie things out of her hair. What a waste. That fucking season. Fuck that season.
It was bad.
Fuck all those fucking people. Bowie Jane was a fucking waste of time. Who's the survivor?
Suri.
Suri. Fuck Suri.
Complete disappointment.
Seriously. Fuck
Didn't
Suri.
live up to what she was supposed to do.
You talk about like disappointment isn't even a strong enough word.
Yeah, you're right.
Running around in a gray robe all
She did.
motherfucking summer. And this is the summer after we got to see a big fat piece of shit, Derek Frazier, lay around on a blue goddamn couch all fucking summer and not do shit.
It's true.
It's just like, what the fuck, man?
It's true.
It's fucking, I was gonna say it's $500,000. It's $750,000. Get off your fucking ass and fucking play the goddamn game.
It's true.
You bunch of fucking idiots.
That's the thing is we were just watching Big Brother 8 like last week, and it's so different compared to this most recent.
I always looked at it like this. It's like it was 14 people in my season. Now it's 16.
Yeah.
Have a 1 in 16 chance at $750,000. Like, who the fuck on the planet wouldn't play that lottery?
Mhm.
Right?
You play the lottery and said like, instead of like $1 billion, it's $750,000. But like, who's not gonna? You have a 1 in 16 chance at winning this, and you have people that go in there and they're just like, I want to find somebody to fuck. Who was the Taylor? That's all she wanted to do.
The winner?
She was there to find somebody to fuck.
Mm.
Yes, she
Yeah.
went from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and finally found. I think she fucked Monty. But she wanted to fuck like 3 different guys that season. It's just like, what?
Well, and then there was that same season. There was Paloma who just went home. She couldn't handle the show and had to just
Taylor
left.
would have gone home if it wasn't
Yeah.
Paloma.
Right. That's true. That's and to think like I can't imagine. I know like it's
Did
you
Paloma
missed whatever.
go home because she had a breakdown?
Yes.
yeah she
Or
could
she go home
left
because they told her in the DR that she said something racist or something, and it was going to be
That was like a rumor.
It was speculated because she did say something that was like
Oh, but it didn't
questionable.
air on the
But-
feed.
yeah,
It was,
and then
it was more of a
the
like
official story is that she had a breakdown and she had to leave.
they were like, it's weird that you're only targeting the people of color and you're having a mental breakdown. It was kind of a little bit of both.
But I would not, if I ever had that opportunity and I had a 1 in 16 chance of winning $750,000, I wouldn't let any mental breakdown stop me.
Listen, I'd fucking cut every one of these motherfucking 15 people to fucking.
Well,
But
yeah.
it's weird. After I won Big Brother 8, somebody came up to me from CBS. Like you go through like different stations, like at the finale and do interviews and stuff. And one of the guys from CBS News or something, he's like, "So, do you feel bad about making these people cry?" And I'm like, "Are you drunk?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like laughing, like, "No, I'm not drunk." I'm like, "Well, that's a really stupid question. Like, people murder other people
Yeah.
for $500,000. So fucking what? I made some people cry. Who cares? Do you feel about?" What did he say? He goes, "Do you feel bad about calling so and so the B word?" I go, "What's the B word?" Like, honestly, I had no fucking like. what's the B word? He goes, bitch. I'm like, bitch. Songs with the word bitch in it. You can't say bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
People give me a break.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Big Brother 8, let's get a little bit into your season. And, I always say, you entered the house in, I think, one of the biggest disadvantages we've ever seen.
The biggest disadvantage of anyone that's ever walked in that
Yeah.
house.
Like, it is wild. And again, that was a long time ago. But, like, I don't think that they could do that today. Like, I think it's pretty messed up what they did to you.
The first time with Danielle, it was like, it made me mad because I had been a finalist in 5 and I was a finalist in 6, in season 6. And they should have put me on 6, but what happened is that was a secret partner season. And they asked me for like 3 people, and one might be doing like come in to host a competition or some lie that they told me, that they told everyone. And I was like, I've never seen, like, even back then, I was like, I've never seen anybody go. They go in, they don't go out. There's no communication. It's the whole
Mhm.
the whole premise of the goddamn show. So like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I better plan on this being someone that I'm going to be playing the game with. Would you stop it? So I gave them my son, my daughter, a friend of mine, Linda. She was married. Um, a girl, I can't remember her name. I was dating like a few girls at the time, and there was a girl. I was running a bar in Hermosa Beach, and she was a bartender in the next bar. And she was 6'1", professional volleyball player, blonde, lean body, smoking hot. And I thought that they would have I really thought that they would like have cast her. They didn't even fucking call her. It was somebody else I can't remember. But they only called Linda and my daughter. They didn't even call my son Vincent. Um, and Linda, they had for, I don't know, they talked to her for like one day, and then they decided on Danielle. And then they decided that Danielle was too young. And it's like, you knew how old she was when you looked at her fucking paperwork.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So you dragged me through 3 months of bullshit, I'm thinking I'm going on, and I'm not, because you decided to pick the one that's like, 18. She
Yeah.
was 18. She wasn't even 21 on season 8, where it's their own rules, so they could break it. But that's why we weren't on season 6 where we should have been.
Yeah.
I forgot what the initial question was.
Well, I just wanted to, I think it's weird that they did that to you, and not
Oh, the
every
entrance.
well, it was because it was only 3 of you that had that disadvantage.
That was it.
Well,
Yeah, well,
or
that's
6.
terrible casting.
Yeah.
You have a twist. You have a twist. Well, they fucked it up in season 4 too, where everyone should have had an X on season 4.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
How
Right.
hard, like, how hard can this be? There's 14 people. You only need 7, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
14, 7 couples.
Yeah.
You can't find 7 fucking couples in all of fucking America.
No.
You got 3 months and you can't get this together. Like, are you fucking joking me?
They had to
Like,
cast
I thought
Kale.
that was like really stupid.
They had to cast Kale. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about season 4. Season 4 with the X's.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
That was
the
wild.
people that, yeah, it was like, it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But and then and then season 8, it's like, oh, we're gonna do a nemesis season or whatever they fucking called it. And there was like 3 of us, so it's like 6 people. It's not
Yeah.
even half the fucking cast.
No, it's so
So
weird.
immediately, like, we're fucking targets for everyone.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Then when then half of those they put away from everyone for, and when you're watching the TV show's an hour, the first episode, you don't have any idea in real time how long this went on. It went on for like fucking 8 or 10 hours. We were like locked away in the HOH for 8 or 10 hours while they were down picking beds, getting to know each other, competing in an HOH competition, and all of this other bullshit before they bring us down and introduce us to the rest of the cast. So, like, that was fucked up to start with, because people are already starting to bond and all of this kind of stuff. And then it's like, as soon as I'm walking down the stairs, Danielle starts crying. And
Yeah.
it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I've been trying to get on this fucking show for 3 fucking years. And like, this is the entrance that I have. And then, I can hear the other people talking. And Jamaica's like, don't worry, honey. We'll get him out of here first. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
It didn't
So,
work out
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that season, yeah, it started off pretty wild, but
It's fucked up because there's been nobody. The only other people people that have had to deal with personal their personal life being played out on the television show was Cowboy Nokomis.
yeah.
But Nokomis didn't give a fuck about Cowboy. She like didn't even really like him. So they never really even, they were for people like watching that don't know what the hell I'm talking about. They found that their father was a cheater and outed their father as a cheater on national television. It was like Jerry Springer or what was that? Maury.
Maury, yeah.
You are
Yeah.
the father. Like what the fuck? Uh,
Yeah.
it was such a tough thing that they both figured it out in like the first episode that they were like half brother and sister. Um, but Nokomis, like they were so different. Nokomis was just kind of, I don't know, marching to a different drummer
Mm-hmm.
type of a
Yeah.
where Cowboy's just like this down home, yuck, yuck, yuck kind of goofy
Yeah.
dumb guy.
Yeah.
And like she just really didn't give a shit about him. And she was the smart one, he was dumb. I don't even think they kept in touch after the show or what exactly happened.
I don't know
But
because Nokomis was on All Stars, but then I'm pretty sure Cowboy was like the alternate in that season. They were only brought in so many, and he
no,
was.
wasn't an alternate. There was a bunch of people that were like they were left on the
Yeah,
bleachers,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which was like so fucked up and such bullshit.
Yeah, if
The
they
way that
only casted so many, they should have just showed them the door before they even started filming. Like it made no sense.
it's just fucked up. It's like Probst did a Survivor that was like fucked up like that. He's such a douchebag, that guy. Yeah, remember when he had his talk show? That
Oh, Jeff
stupid
Probst, yeah,
lasted like a year or something.
yeah,
He was thinking about quitting Survivor because he thought he was going to be the next Oprah or something. And he would treat like the reunion show, like his talk show. He's like running through the audience and it's like, oh, you douchebag, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah,
But then he's like, okay, on Survivor 39 or whatever fucking number it was, they have all of these people that like could be going. And he's like, goes in the audience, he's like, oh, and you are going, and you're not, and you're going, and you're not. And it's just like, if I was like there and you're not, I would have fucking thrown something right at his fucking head. Fuck you, you fucking fly me out here, you fucking bring me down there, you fucking tell me no, you douchebag. Ah,
no,
I just thought it was such a shitty thing to do, man. It just goes to show how much they just don't give a fuck about those people.
yeah,
I'm not going to mention who, but it is a former winner of Survivor that they had him. What they do on Survivor is they have you turn in your clothes and you have to have like 2 of each item of clothes, like doubles
hmm
of everything, and your passport, and everything has to be approved and all this bullshit, and pack and be ready to go. And they did it to him twice that I know of for sure, where the day before he was supposed to get on the plane, they called and said, "Oh, we're going a different way." And like he's taking off from work and all of this shit, and they're like, "Oh, fuck you, we don't
yeah.
need you." And they did it to him twice,
It's messed up.
and maybe more since, but I haven't done any of those things, and we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but I know that they do that shit to people all the fucking time, and it's just like, I think I said what I said. If they would tell me that there was a chance I would get on Big Brother, I'd tell them, suck my dick. There's no fucking way.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It makes no sense.
there was, what season was it? Was it 20? What season was the one with JC, the midget?
I think that was 21 or 20. Were they and Rockstar in the same
It
season?
had to be 20. It had to be 20.
Yeah.
Because what they did was they had a whole bunch of people in the audience, uh, former Big Brother players, and then this rumor went around with everyone that they were going to be picking from the audience to put these people in the house for season 20, that it was going to be an all-stars thing. And I'm sitting there going, you people are fucking idiots. There's like no way. And production knew that rumor was going around. And like then they call me and they're like, hey, we'd like you to be in the audience. And I'm like, how much? Oh, well, we don't have a budget to pay you. I'm like, well, are you paying for my tickets? I think I was living in Florida. I think in Florida. Florida. And I'm like, and transfers to and from there. Oh no. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
like,
no point.
Yeah.
you want me to pay to fly to go out there, to rent a car, to get a hotel so you can show me on your show in the audience? I'm like, go fuck yourself. Lose
No.
my number.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
no sense at all.
That's ridiculous.
No,
You
want me
did.
in the- fucking fly me out there. This is a fucking
Yeah.
network television. Don't act like you can't afford it, you fucking like cheap motherfuckers.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah. So you did mention, you talked a little bit earlier about staying in touch. Is there anyone from your season who you like kind of actively staying in touch with, or?
Um, I well, let me tell you what keeps me in touch with a lot of reality people, Big Brother people,
Mhm.
is having them as guests on my show. That's kept me in touch with a lot of people. Otherwise, I would have really no reason to contact
Right.
them. I don't know. They're like acquaintances, but from my season, like Joe comes on my show like every season. I like Joe. He's a good guy, but like we're not like super tight or anything. And that's like the only time we talk in a year. Nick always makes sure to give me a call, like once a year or something. Who else? Probably. My God, I think that's probably it.
Yeah. Well, you
I
didn't
don't-
make a lot of friends in BB-8. Let's just say that. But it made great
I
TV.
wasn't there to make friends. It was like that's what I always say. It's like these are like 14, well, 13, my daughter, 13 random fucking people, or 12 other random people from like wherever the fuck. And what I'm supposed to have like these emotional ties to these people
Exactly,
forever.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't like them in the house. Like what, somebody, I have people ask me like, oh, did you ever like mend fences with Jen? And I'm like, why? She was the fucking bitch. Like, why?
No, she was the
And,
worst.
like, I'm not like fake,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Jen. If I saw her, I'd be like, hey, fuck you. Get out of here.
No, yeah, Jen was pretty bad. Well, speaking of Jen, you have one of the most infamous moments of Big Brother history, where you're outside, minding your business, and then Jen decides to take some of your personal items and poured bleach of some sort on
No,
them.
like cigarettes.
Yeah, and then she came outside to pick a fight with you, and then she got burned.
But this is when she was going home.
Yes.
You knew she
Yeah.
was going home. She had like already lost veto or something, and she knew she was going. And like we were all like, hey, enjoy the last few days that you're here. You're going home. And so this was like her last hurrah. And with cigarettes. And it was after I found out that she fucked with my cigarettes, and I didn't even know what she did with them at that point. And so I was like smoking, and she was like comes out and starts whining about it, and like starts trying to. I'm sitting down. She's trying to smack it out of my hand, and I'm like this, and she's like trying to smack it all around my. And I'm like, I just told her, I'm like, you're gonna get burned. You're gonna get burnt. Psst, ah, psst. ah,
Yeah.
you're burning me on purpose. Like, wow, get the fuck away from me.
Well, then in retaliation, you did hide her clothes, which I thought was pretty fun.
Oh, what nobody on the show knew, or the audience knew, from that whole little scene, there was some woman in Podunk, who the fuck knows where, USA, that called the LAPD and said that CBS was holding a girl against her will, and I was burning her with cigarettes. So the LAPD went to CBS and they had to see the footage. Like the producers told me this like later, and they had to review the footage, and they said that the cops started laughing when they saw it. And they're like, yeah,
God.
okay, all right, thanks.
Oh,
Well, we
man.
had to see, and we had to like just follow up, and da 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 da. They made their way out. So,
God, that's so funny.
Wow, that's yeah.
by the way, I've sold that because I think she crumpled that pack of cigarettes. And I sold that pack of cigarettes with the broken cigarettes in it online for like $300 or something on
Oh,
eBay.
wow.
Hell yeah, people are willing to pay for
Dude, like
a lot of things.
I sold wait, I sold one of the oh one of the suicidal. Oh no, wait. It was my Big Brother 13 bag,
Mm.
my Big Brother 13 key to one person for $5,000 each.
Whew.
Yeah, it was like crazy, man.
That's wild.
Fans are
Wow.
like insane.
Yeah, and that's all for something that like what? It's just what are you gonna do with that, right? I mean, $5,000 is nice.
I had
Well.
a bunch of suicidal tendency shirts. I didn't care
Yeah,
about.
right?
Oh, I wore these on TV. Oh, okay. Those, was it like 18.99 or 15.99 t-shirts I got at Target or wherever the fuck I got? Because everything has to be generic. Like
Mhm.
nothing can have brands on it.
Yeah.
So if you look in your closet, like every fucking thing I had, like had a brand on it. So I had to go buy like t-shirts with like stupid sayings on it. Uh, and I don't even remember what they were, but like those fucking t-shirts, all of them went for like 150, $200 each. It was weird,
Did you like Jen's t-shirts that all had her name on them?
dude. They never let anybody do that after her. Did you notice that?
No, 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 no.
Bring in like their little iron-on lettering and stuff.
My
Oh,
God. Well, we want to play a
Shit.
little game with you. If you are ready for that. So we are gonna show you some of your past how I don't know what to say. Maybe some of your enemies,
housemates,
housemates,
enemies, friends, whatever.
and we want
Competitors.
you're known for being a
Mike,
little.
Mike didn't lock the toilet, and I walked in on him taking a shit one time. He was like so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry."
Well, we want to show you some of your past housemates and see if you can say something nice about them. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little difficult. Okay, so
Yeah, most of
first
them.
we got Mike.
Mike was a nice guy. Mike was a nice guy. But Mike was a big dude, and he ate himself out of the house. Like he would what do you call it? A meat roll. He'd take like all of the cold cuts for the fucking week and roll it up into like this gigantic meat log. And like that's for everybody, motherfucker. So,
Didn't he was the one who got evicted because he was being a dumbass. You were doing
he
like that.
evicted himself.
Yeah, you were
He
doing
evicted himself.
the Mad Hatter challenge, and then he pissed you off.
Me and Jen were left in the veto competition, and like they gave them all these costumes and stuff because we were standing on a pedestal that was about this big around, like both of your feet, like the inside balls of my feet were on fucking fire. I think it went like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something, and it was like 102 degrees out, and we're wearing like 4 layers, like some kind of fake silk shirt and um, a velvet vest and a velvet like heavy jacket, and then this Mad Hatter's hat. And we had to balance a glass on the top of it, and it's like the last man standing type of thing. And so anybody that didn't compete in the competition, or the people that fell out of the competition, they gave them like this big bin of like costumes and stuff, and they sent them out to like make us laugh to distract us out of the competition and like, oh, I'm gonna laugh and the glass is gonna fall up. I'm like, you have like such a tiny brain that you can't like focus. This is the $500,000 here.
Yeah.
So it came down to me and Jen, and like Mike, like everybody's standing in front of Jen, like trying to fuck with her, and here's the lone Mike in front of me, like rubbing his nipples and putting whipped cream on his tits, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, if she wins this and comes down off the block, your ass is going up there. He's like, well, I don't care. And I'm like, all right. So I walked off the competition. I smashed the glass on the ground. I threw my hat. And I'm like, you're on the block, bitch. And I walked inside.
No, it was pretty iconic, and he
Nobody
did
has ever
himself.
done that before.
No,
Nobody
no.
did it before, and nobody has done it afterwards.
Especially with your feud with Jen. I mean, the fact that he really destroyed himself that bad, it was pretty funny.
People like I remember Jamaica because I was walking right at him when I said that and walked off of the pedestal and broke that glass. Jamaica thought I was going to punch him, and she's like, "Dick, Dick, Dick."
Oh boy. Well, how about Nick?
I like Nick. I do. I like Nick. Nick's a good guy.
Yeah.
I think he dated Jen for like after him and Danielle broke up.
Oh wow.
Like been together in Arizona and like I think a couple of years. But then he's been married a couple times. He had married a Canadian, and I met that wife. I don't know, is doing this appearances in Canada, and we went out to dinner or something. And she was very nice, but that didn't last very long. And then I think he was married again, and I think he's divorced twice now. But I like Nick. Super, super nice guy.
That's good. That's good. Let's move on to everyone's favorite, Kale.
Kale. That's exactly how we would always say it in the house. It's like, Kale. Oh, what can I say nice about Kale? I don't really have nice things to say about Kale.
Yeah, well.
She was so homophobic and it's just weird. She's probably thrilled in doing backflips that Trump won the presidency. She's a hypocritical Christian like the rest of them. Something nice about Kale. Oh man, it's really hard.
Well,
I was gonna say she befriended Danielle in the house, but she was just using Danielle in order to try to work her way in. Something nice about Kale.
She might have broke this game. I don't think you can say anything.
Wow. Jen's gonna be even tougher. Kale was a good mom. How's that?
There you go.
As
Yeah.
long as her kids didn't turn out gay, Kale would have been a good mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to Amber. To
Jesus
Amber.
Christ. Yeah, this is a fucked up cast, right?
This really is. They put you in a house knowing that you had a disadvantage, and then they put you with some of the most annoying people in the world.
This go crossed than anyone before or after, like ever in the Big Brother house.
Yeah.
She cried every fucking episode. Oh my God, Amber. Amber has very good intentions. Amber has been through a very, very rough time.
Yeah.
In life. Amber's daughter committed suicide.
Yeah.
Amber ended up in rehab again for heroin addiction. And I don't know, somehow or another, I hardly ever go on Facebook, but I'd gone on Facebook and somehow or another, like something came on my timeline about Amber. And then I ended up on her page, and people like when they're in recovery, they're all like, I don't know, they're just kind of weird. It's like
yeah, I think she got arrested again. Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
she's had like a lot of problems with drugs, but she was supposedly at that time like rehabbed and clean and this and that. But anybody that I've known, and like, listen, I've had very, very close friends, um, heroin addicts. One
Yeah.
of them OD'd with me on a trip to San Francisco and died. One of my best friends, Mike. Um, it's heroin doesn't give people up like ever. It's like one, I don't know, one trigger away from becoming an addict again. It's like I don't know, heroin's something else. And that's why heroin has always scared me. And I've done like every drug known to man and have never shot up. And that's why, I've seen it in so many people. They either OD and die, or they keep going back and become, they're junkie. Once you're a junkie for the rest of your life.
No, we wish the
So
best for Amber.
yeah, she has Amber has good intentions, and down deep there somewhere she has a very good heart, and honestly I wish the best for her.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Eric.
uh the weasel. uh,
Yes, America's player.
Eric was entertaining in the house. um he was fun to be around most of the time, but he was like Eric Eric's Eric's biggest fuck up was like, okay, with me, I went in the house and I went in planning on backstabbing and scheming and lying, doing whatever I had to do. But just as in real life, the less amount of lies that you tell, the less bullshit you have to remember of who you told what to. So in that kind of an environment, people talk. So I wanted to pick and choose my lies like very carefully, so shit would never, wouldn't come back on me. And I ended up like that. I told like next to no lies. I think there was like actually like one thing I bullshitted about, and the other thing that I lied about, it honestly wasn't a lie when I said it, it was about Jessica, and
Mhm.
Eric and Jessica were like, just tell us if you're gonna vote her out. And I was like, no, you're safe. You're gonna stay. And then me and Danielle talked about it after I said that. And we decided that it's like, what are we gonna do? Keep them for like one more week? That we promised that we would go like final four. We're at like final six. So we're gonna like hope that everything like drops our way, and that to get them out. It's like we need to fucking like pull the trigger now.
Yeah.
That's why we got rid of Jessica. So when I told both of them that she was staying, I truly believed it, and that's what the plan was. It just changed afterwards. So but Eric, his biggest fuck up, you're America's player, so you're gonna have to lie. You're gonna have to lie. So why would you tell stupid, meaningless lies that were like so like just out yourself? That's what was the downfall of Eric's game, was just stupid. There was like so many little stupid things. There was one night I was always up later than anybody else. And a lot of times, like late at night after everybody was in bed, I would go cook myself like breakfast,
Hmm.
like a snack. And I was down in the kitchen. I don't know if I was washing dishes or what the fuck I was doing, but I knew that Eric was still in the HOH. And this was early in the game. It's either Kale or Jen. They had like back-to-back HOHs the first and second week. So they were up in the HOH, and Eric had gone up there like hours earlier, and I could hear them. I don't know if they thought that door was like soundproof or something, but I could hear all three of them up there cackling like fucking schoolgirls. Like I could hear them like just laughing away and laughing away as I'm like washing dishes or whatever I'm doing. And then Eric comes out, and I heard the door. So I turn around, and he sees me, and like I see this, like, his eyes get big, that momentary panic, and his eyes get big, and he goes, oh. It's like, oh, I fell asleep up there. And it's
Oh,
like, why are you gonna lie about something
Oh
so
man.
fucking ridiculously stupid?
yeah.
And I grabbed Danielle like when I saw her the next day, when we were alone, when there was nobody around. She was coming out of the bedroom, and I think I was going back that way. And I grabbed her by the arm, and she stopped, and I'm like, whatever you do, don't trust Eric. Don't let on anything's different. But don't trust that motherfucker at all because he's full of shit. And I'll tell you why later. And, then I told this story. But if he's going to lie about something ridiculously stupid like that, how the fuck am I going to trust him with my game? Fuck that.
Yeah, no. Now, let's move on to Jamaica.
I like Jamaica. Jamaica's just, I don't know. She was a good person. I was in touch with Jamaica up until, that's a while now, probably maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. And I would call her like once a year, and we would catch up. And she changed her number something, and I lost touch with her. I like Jamaica. She was a school teacher before she went in. She's probably still a school teacher now, in DC. Yeah, I like Jamaica.
Yeah,
She was cool.
I do have a question. What went on with, the whole ping pong ball drama
Oh,
with
the magic
Jamaica?
ping pong
Do you
ball.
mind explaining
Yeah,
that?
I kind of like had it with her and their bullshit religion and all this crap. Um, she we were trying to get Jen out, and we had Jen out, and Jen, I think, won veto 2 weeks in a row to like save herself. We put Jen and Kale up on the block like 3 weeks in a row together. And we decided to evict someone else because Jen like saved herself or something. So Kale was left on the block. And then whoever the replacement was, we decided that they were the one that should go. It's like, fucking Kale will take care of her. Fuck Kale. And then I think it was the second week, Jamaica. Was Jamaica must have been on the block or something. But Jamaica pulled, oh no, Jen pulled Jamaica. Jen was on the block, duh. Jen and Kel were on the block. Jen pulled Jamaica's ball. And don't even ask me fucking how. Jamaica couldn't win anything. But somehow or another, she won this competition that was like, oh, I know why. It was because Dustin took the money. It was like a bidding thing. It was like this
Yes.
art bid. It was a bidding thing. And Dustin, instead of playing the fucking game, he like took his whatever, like they started you with some amount of money, or I don't remember exactly how it was, but he bid on and won this $5,000 in a trip to Barbados, and like fuck the rest of us, because he would have won had he not done that, and Jen would have went home, and then Jamaica ended up winning. Oh, there was someone else. Jen like manipulated the game. I can't remember exactly how, but anyhow, she like kind of like threw it to Jamaica because Jamaica picked her fucking ping pong ball out of the bag, and Jamaica said, "It's God's will if I win to give her." And I'm like, we can't let this fucking bitch win. And then she ends up winning, and she takes fucking Jen off the block, and
Yeah.
it's like, are you stupid? And that's when I started calling it the magic ping pong ball.
Yep.
And then can you please explain exactly how this worked to me? Because I'm kind of confused. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, so when you put your hand in that bag and grab that ping pong ball, did God guide your hand to her ping pong ball? Or did you just grab any ping pong ball and then God magnificently just changed the name on it to Jen? I would really like to know this because I'm confused. And like I just kept on it and on it and on it. And just like fucking, that was when Hell Week. That was Hell Week. When the week after me and Danielle ended up on the block, and they wanted to evict Danielle, and I wanted to take the power out of their hands, and of course, being like the dad, wanted her to stay and was going to fall on the sword, and go home. So I don't know. I think there was a clip on the show, like a huge YouTube clip. And it was funny because like I went into the diary room and I'm like, can you please let me explain what I'm doing and why, so the audience just doesn't think I'm like a fucking idiot for doing the shit. And they're like, yeah, all right, Dick, all right, you're on stage, go. And I was like, something like, I don't want them just to hate me. I want them to loathe me. I want every time I walk by, I want their stomach to like, just fucking, tighten up. And I'm doing this so they will vote me out over Danielle, and Danielle can stay in this game, basically. So then they went into like this little clips of Hell Week where I just fucking went off on everyone, and it just turned out that they all hid in the HOH like all week long. They would all just go up in the HOH and lock themselves in there. And me and Danielle had run the whole fucking house to ourselves like the entire week. It's really weird, but it was cool.
I think there's nothing better with our next person, Zach. When you and
Jesus
Zach
Christ.
have that back and forth, when he's up running upstairs, you're downstairs drinking whatever, I think that it is some of the best reality TV. Like the way that you guys were being very combative, and he had a very cocky nature to him that he thought he was going to win.
I'm not sure exactly when you're talking about.
I believe it is when he puts you and Danielle on the block.
Oh, on the block.
And then
Oh.
he starts, because he was HOH and it was Jamaica was
I
left.
am a samurai sword. It's like, dude, you are a retard.
Yeah.
No, say something nice about Zach. Zach, what I knew about this game from the very, very beginning was no matter people forget about this. In the beginning, when there's like a bunch of votes, some people become like insignificant and people don't give a fuck about them. It's like, who gives a fuck which way they're voted? We have the votes, so who cares about this person? And they'll like ostracize like a person or two or whatever. And that was Zach. We used to even call it in the house like getting zacked. Zach, I think they even put a clip of it in the television show. I know if they did for a fact, and where everybody was in. We had a gigantic teacup, one of those spinning teacups in the backyard of my season, and they had like there was like eight or more people in the teacup, and here comes big goofy Zach, and like pushes his way in and sits down, and it shows, but one by one, everybody leaving until he's there by himself, and like, but that's how it was like all the time. He was like, I don't know, it was like a really bad smell where everybody would just be like, God damn, get the hell out of there. But I always looked and I said, at some point in the game, it's going to be whittled down so much that this idiot's vote is going to have weight to it. And I'm not going to just let that go. So when nobody else would talk to him, dude, I sat on this backyard furniture set talking to this fucking asshole for hours about comic books, about pinball. Those were like the main things that we had in common. Hawaii, he had this like weird little fish bone. It was like the Hawaiians like they have a little fish bone that's carved into a hook. And he would like wear that because his ex-girlfriend or some crazy shit. Such a weird dude. But he was the dude that would like lay in bed and pretend like he's sleeping and like listen in on conversations. And he would do it all the time. And it's just like, I would take something. I'm like, I know you're awake, motherfucker. And I just throw it and hit him in the head. But I don't know. And at one point, like Danielle hated him. And I told her, I'm like, you have to befriend him. You have to. Like, we need him. We're going to need his vote, because Jessica and Eric had Jamaica, and like we needed that third. So, and I made her, and like, so she would like take time and like go play stupid games, whatever games we were playing in the backyard with Zach, and kind of like befriended her, or she befriended him, and like he became our third. Not because we liked him, but we were like, we needed that. We had to use him. But I don't know. Something nice about him. We had like fun conversations about comic books, I guess.
That's fun.
He was like one that would like just beat something to death, like over and over and over and over. But like when nobody else would listen to him or talk to him, I would like sit there and bullshit with him, because I just knew that it was going to come into play at some point. and he should have been evicted like way early on. Like, but there's always bigger fish to fry. There's always those kind of people in the house, and he was one of those people.
Floaters.
Yeah, floaters.
Yeah.
That Bowie
And there's a-
Jane, that Cam.
Whoever was in power, he would just like, I would always say it's like, well, he's had his lips surgically removed from so and so's ass, and he's going to be having them, sewn on this HOH's ass for this week.
That's funny. Well, we have one more, and she's
Oh.
definitely the winner. We got Jen.
Genitalia. If anybody like watched the show, they would know we're talking about the t-shirts and all of
Yes.
that. No, yeah, we're missing people. There's no Dustin. Where's Dustin?
I slimmed through. I got the best.
There's no Joe. Come on, you guys are slacking, man. Jen. Something nice to say about Jen. Ugh. Ooh. Ooh. Wow, this is tough.
It's a tough game.
Yeah, it really is. Something nice about Jen.
Her t-shirts.
Yeah.
No.
Eric used to say that she wears bikinis that are like 4 times too small for her. Something nice about Jen. Okay. I think she was a good babysitter. Annie, whatever the fuck no, I do. I think she was like,
Right.
I don't know. You'd have to ask the kids. Maybe the kids would be like, she's fucking annoying bitch. But I don't know. My impression was that she could have been like, she was like, oh, does anybody want banana bread? I know how to make banana bread. I make it for the kids all the time. Did I tell you it's Vanna White's kids? Yeah, nanny for Vanna White's kids. She was a weird chick, man. Still a weird chick.
Yeah.
But and I used to say it's like I swear to God, it's like when she went in for casting for that show, like as soon as she left and the door clicked closed, Robin was just like, I got a live one. Fucking yeah. Whoever they're out, she's in. Got a fucking kook. So.
I think they need, as much as you may have differences, I think that they need more people like Jen in the game. Cast more characters.
Listen, the casting for my season was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
because even Amber, who cried all the time, she made people feel something, annoyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she made them feel annoyed. And even Jamaica, who wasn't like a big personality or anything, but the producers were at least smart enough. They used the religion thing with her, where whenever she would start in, they'd give her like the church organ pipe music all the time. It was fucking hilarious.
Well, you, I think, are one of the only Big Brother players to ever get your own theme song. Every time you went off on somebody.
Yeah.
26 years. God. Yeah.
I'm the only one too that the producers came to afterwards and wanted to do a show with me, and I turned them down.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I think they were so. Well, what they told me was that we got a couple ideas. Come on down. I'm like, all right, cool. And she's like, we've never done this before with any house guest, but I think you'd be like really good. And they wanted to do some like kind of Cyrano de Bergerac thing, where I'd be like, through radio, like telling somebody what to say and voice their real opinion about like their, talking to somebody else. And it was like, okay, what else do you have? And they're like, oh, that's it. I'm like, I thought you said you had a couple things. And like with me, I didn't mean to be insulting. And I know that they were like felt insulted, but I knew that I only had one shot at like, if I was going to do something outside, because I was really trying to get out of the whole reality Big Brother thing. I wanted to like, I knew if I was going to like enter that, I didn't want to do it in reality. I wanted to be outside of that. So I was trying to do something, but I knew there was only one shot at it. So, and I didn't think that that was the vehicle that was going to like do it for me. So I turned them down.
Yeah.
And they got big. And I ended up doing 2 or 3 more pilots for shows that like 2 of them, like I'm still all this time later, I'm still shocked that they didn't get picked up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, so we have just a couple more questions here. We don't want to hold you too long. But one thing, so you talk a lot on your season about how you work as a club booker and you got to meet a lot of celebrities that way. Who was the most interesting celebrity that you met?
Like ever?
Not necessarily ever, but just like through your work as a club booker. Who did you find to be the most interesting?
Oh, well, I think a lot of it was just like being in Hollywood and you know different rock stars and they introduce you like their friends are all like rock stars and they introduce you to
Yeah.
different people and stuff like that. Um, but I don't know. I met well way before any of that shit. I dated a girl that lived. She rented a room from this guy named Derek Marlowe, and Derek Marlowe was an English playwright, screen playwright. And he knew every fucking English celebrity on the planet. Um, and she rented a room from him. It was in this fucking mansion in the Hollywood Hills. It was so weird. She was like an assistant to some woman that was on Entertainment Tonight or something. But she was like, and she was a friend of mine's cousin. Uh, but they would have these parties on these barbecues. Nobody ever barbecued anything. They would like send out for like food to be catered. And like the pool, oh my God, that place was so fucking amazing. The pool like had these Roman statues all around it.
Oh wow.
And the shower, going to the shower, like I take a shower there, and like the shower's like all glass, and you're overlooking like all of the fucking Hollywood Hills and LA, and it's amazing. I always wondered like who was like checking out my dick with the telescope. Uh, but uh, but I met Paul McCartney up there. I met Roger Daltrey up there. I met Madonna up there.
Wow.
Wow.
Who the fuck else? Who's Dr. Quinn medicine woman? Jane Seymour.
Oh.
Oh,
I threw
yeah.
fucking Jane Seymour in the pool, man.
Oh wow.
Uh, I think it was 27, somewhere 25. I don't know, in my middle to late 20s. Uh, that was a really weird, fun chapter in my life. And then when I stopped seeing that girl, like that whole thing was over, which was kind of a bummer. But yeah. Uh, but then when I like after my divorce is when I like kind of moved my life up into Hollywood. And that's when I like just started to like really become friends with like a lot of the people that I idolized as a kid. And growing up all these rock stars and stuff. And then I think too, when there was a girl in Hollywood, she was just, it was one of those people that you end up in the same clubs, the same kind of scene, seeing the same bands, you end up in the same places at the same time a lot. And at first it's like, you give like head nods. And then it's like, hey, I see you all the time, I'm Evil Dick, da 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 da. And then you introduce yourself to each other. And you just kind of like become friends, but acquaintances, you know what I mean? And you talk whenever you see them. It's not like you like plan on going out together or anything like that. So I had been in Ireland like all summer long. This is 2006. And I come home and there's like, I don't know, like 5 messages from TJ. And it was like just weird. And I was like, I call her up and she's like, oh, hey, Evil Dick. And I go, hey, TJ, don't take this wrong or anything, but like, how'd you get my number and what do you want? And she just starts laughing. She's like, oh my God, I got your number from Julian. He's got everybody's number. And I figured you have your number. And she goes, I don't know if you know, but I'm casting director. I'm like, you're a casting director? She goes, yeah. I go, no, I have no fucking idea. And she goes, I'm casting Pirates of the Caribbean 3 right now. I'm like, okay. And she goes, I think that you would be, I need a double for Keith Richards. I'm like, it's not exactly a compliment. She just starts laughing. She goes, no, it's like, you're like the same size and like how tall are you and how much you weigh and da 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 and all this shit. And I think you'd be perfect for it. Um, and the director just like fired somebody that I had. So, it's got to be like quick. And I'm like, she was like, can you be so and so. I go, well, hold on. I go, she goes, you get to hang out with Keith and Johnny like the entire time for like 3 weeks. You'll make like, I think it's like $500 a day. I'm like, yeah, cool, cool. I go, but do I get to dress like a pirate? She goes, yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
got to spend 3 weeks like hanging out with Johnny Depp and Keith Richards, and um, it was like that was like fun, man. Because it was, I don't know, it wasn't like running into somebody and meeting somebody and like, bullshitting with them like for the evening or whatever, you know what I mean? Type of thing. It was like hanging out for 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
And telling stories and all this bullshit. It was a fucking trip, man. It was a fucking trip. This is Keith Richards, a fucking guitar player for the Rolling Stones. Been a fucking rock star from before the time I was born. It's like, holy fuck. Walking past his walking past his trailer one time, and he goes, "Hey, Dick," I'm like, "What's up? You smoke?" And he like holds up this corncob pipe. He's getting high on the Disney lot. I go, "Hold on a second. Keith Richards asking me if I want to get high on a fucking Disney lot, shooting Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Fuck yes."
That's funny. Yeah.
So I'm
Oh,
up there with
man.
him and Johnny just fucking getting stoned in his fucking trailer. And
Wow.
I was just going, this is the most surreal fucking moment of my life. This is so fucking bizarre. Never in a million fucking years. Like if you ask me like what are the odds of you like someday like you're hanging out with Keith Richards and Johnny Depp getting stoned on fucking Disney? Like a one in a billion. Like I would have never guessed that in a million years. Fucking
That's
hilarious.
that's wild.
That was a really, really fun time.
Yeah.
That was I don't know, that 3 weeks was I think I talk about that as much as I talk about Big Brother. It was like, yeah, holy shit, man.
Wow.
Did I answer your question? I forgot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, perfect. That was exactly that was
I started
perfect.
going, I forget
No,
what
no,
the
you're good.
question actually was.
You're good.
My
So
introduction to Keith. Here's a good story. I'm sitting. Okay, what I didn't know, like I've done like extra work, like I did extra work before. You live in LA, and I did a bunch of music videos. I was two different aliens in Megadeth 13 or Megadeth's Hangar 18 video, and I don't know. I did Kenny G video. I did Bon Jovi. I did Cheap Trick. I did all kinds of fucking shit. But like this was like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 just crossed $1 billion. It was like one of only, I think, 2 movies or 3 movies at that time that had done like $1 billion. So everybody on the set was just like, ooh. And this is like this massive production. Like I had never been anything like this. And so it's intimidating. And I didn't realize there's like this pecking order for fucking everything. And even like the makeup, like getting your makeup done. There's a trailer. Oh, first off, the big stars, they get their makeup done in their own trailer.
Mm.
Like the person goes in there. But then there's A trailers, B trailers, C trailers, and then there's a circus tent for like the extras and shit like that. And it's like all this, you know, higher ups to lowest. So this woman V was like the head makeup person for the film. She was the one doing my makeup. She was cool as shit. And I'm sitting in the chair and I'm sitting there. It was weird, man, because like the whole buzz was like Keith Richards is on set. Like everybody was talking about, he's on set today. He's on set today. And I don't know. She's like doing my makeup, and all of a sudden the door like to the trailer opens. There's only three or four stations. I can't remember. And there's the guy. Did you watch the movies? Those movies?
The Pirates movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a dude, Bootstrap Bill.
Yes.
He was the one that had barnacles and shit. That motherfucker
Okay.
sat and got that shit done in his face for like, I think it was like 6 hours every fucking day.
Yeah, I
They were
imagine.
like fucking ridiculous. And then to the right of me is Jeffrey Rush, who had won an Oscar for The King's Speech.
Mm.
Like this fucking like phenomenal actor. And here's me, fucking some random motherfucker is sitting between these fucking people. It is crazy. And then Keith pops his head into the trailer and like everybody freezes, like everybody. And Keith comes in and he comes right over to me and he goes, Evel Dick, I'm Keith Richards, and puts his hand out. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
I go, I know who you are. How the fuck do you know who I am? Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? And he goes, I told the director only an Evel Dick could be my double. And just starts laughing. And like he like drags me out. We're bullshitting for like 10 minutes. And I knew I was making V wait, but like normally she'd be like, where the fuck are you going? Like sit down like my time. But she just like let me go and everybody's like listening in and we bullshit for like 10 minutes and like, all right, we'll catch up later. And then I come back in, like they're all like, "Holy fuck! Like, how did like what the?" I'm like, "I don't ask me, man." So we just like kind of hit it off, man. He was just cool. He had heard that I promoted concerts, and he's like, "Oh, we're in the same business." I'm like, "No, we're not. No, we're not." He's like, "No, it's the same. It's just a different scale, man." I'm like, "I do little stuff." He's like, "It's the same shit, though." Uh, so I think that like he kind of like latched on to me because it was something familiar as you know, and I had the red and black hair and like you know, looking like a rock star at that time. And and he kind of felt like a fish out of water on this big movie set, which he'd never been on before. So it was I don't know, it was cool, man. It worked out good. You know, I'm still friends with from that is the guy Lee Ehrenberg. Remember the comedy duo? It was the skinny tall guy with the with
Yes.
the eyeball that popped out, and then the short fat bald guy that's like hello, pop it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Lee Ehrenberg. Lee, like, I don't know, it's just like bullshitting with somebody, and Lee like marches up to me and he's like, "Hi, I'm Lee Ehrenberg." I'm like, "Hey, I'm Evel Dick." Like, and we just start talking. I think we talked for like a half an hour and like just became friends. He's like, "You just
Wow.
seem like a cool dude. I wanted to know who you were." And he's been on my podcast a number of times. Lee's a fucking cool guy. So yeah, Lee was the first person that called me that I got a phone call from after winning Big Brother. And he's
Wow.
like, "Dude, you're a fucking rock star. I watched that shit." And it's like, no fucking way. Yeah, it was crazy. Lee's a cool guy, man. Really, really cool.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, life is weird, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how stuff like that works out. So one person, obviously, as we mentioned, you're a pretty big person on our podcast. You know, much discussed. Another person who is in a little bit different, the survivor sphere, who we talk about a lot, is Richard Hatch. Is that the first Survivor winner? Is he anyone who you're in any way like acquainted with or familiar with?
Oh, yeah, I like Hatch. Hatch's a good guy, man.
That's awesome
I did
because
Yeah.
when Hatch was in jail, um, with the tax stuff.
yes, yeah.
Oh,
I
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd started my podcast, like I think it was like the first season. It's weird. Because I don't know, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. You know what I mean? It's like you're just kind of muddling through and trying to figure it out. And like there was no Zoom or any of that shit back then. Everybody was doing audio podcasts, like nobody was doing video podcasts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we were using this conferencing software called Vidyo, Vidyo. It was so fucking expensive. I think it was costing us like $2,500, 2000 or 2,500 a month. And then on
Whew.
top of that, it was $25 a download. And then I'd get these idiot reality people that are like, "Dude, I had a hard time downloading that, man. I had to do it like 5 times." It's like, what are you fucking insane? It's $125. You out of your mind? Um, but it like it had it's like Zoom now, but this was like, 15 years ago or something. And I think only like universities and like surgeons were like their biggest clients back then. Um, so uh God, I just lost my train of thought. Where the fuck were we going with this? What were we
Richard
talking about?
You're talking
Hatch?
about Richard Hatch.
Oh, Hatch. Okay, so um and I didn't know like how many people to have on. And like after a while you kind of figure out like 10 people's too many because everybody talks over each other. And I figured like now I like 3 or 4 is like fine, and it works good. But you can do more, but it gets kind of tough with people talking over each other. But back then, like I had no fucking idea. So I'm doing a Survivor show, and I don't know, we did one where I invited like 20 people on, and I'm like, okay, here's the deal. Everybody, it was Richard Hatch's birthday. I'm like, we're gonna do a Richard Hatch birthday celebration. Everybody has to either be naked or look like they're naked. And the guy I had producing the show is like, he's like, Dick, man, nobody's gonna fucking show up. But it turned out so fucking great. It was hilarious. Well, the ideas that like I had back then, like just coming out with all this crazy shit. I was sitting there in a, I was sitting in an office chair with I think the camera was like this, and like this, like totally naked. I think I had a guitar between my legs, and I'm naked. And Lex was standing there, like I don't know, with like a snare drum in front of his dick, and like I think Sandra had like 2 cantaloupes. It was fucking hilarious.
God.
And the only one that didn't play wrong was Rob Sesternino. Such a twat. Uh, like comes in like a pink polo shirt or something. Like, did you not fucking get the rules? Like, what the fuck is
God,
the deal?
Rob.
He's
Yeah.
such a weird.
Was that
But
before he had all of his like YouTube fame? Was that just Survivor back then?
what do you mean?
Because
Oh,
he does
he
the
does other
Rob has a
besides
pod.
Survivor now?
Well, he does the whole Rob as a podcast thing.
Well, I think he was yeah, I think he had that going.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, but I don't know. We kind of like went back and forth at that time
Mm.
until I found him like I don't watch other people's podcasts and stuff, but people tell you.
Yeah.
And I would talk to him and like throw ideas. Oh, I think I'm going to do this and that, and he'd like steal my ideas.
Mm.
And I'm like, you're a fucking douchebag. So I like blocked him and all of his people because then they would come onto my timeline and I would talk about things and they would steal subject matter. You know what I mean? That I was talking about
Yeah.
and shit like that. I'm like, fuck you, man. If you're gonna do your own show, do your own fucking show. I don't go onto your like Twitter and your Facebook and watch your shows in order to like get content, matter. Like,
No.
what the
Yeah.
fuck is fucking show? Don't steal from me, idiot. So and that's when I was and I confronted Rob at one point. Rob's a weird dude, man. Like people don't like confrontation, but like people like him, he's like just kind of like all sketched out. I'm like, I'm not gonna punch you or anything. I'm like, but it's fucking bullshit, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So whatever.
Yeah. I watch his stuff sometimes, but they don't hold up to Dick at Night at all.
It's completely different. I was one that had the idea for doing like the Hollywood Squares thing.
Mm.
And like he took that. And like there was a number of other things. It just pissed me off. It's like just because they didn't do it right now doesn't mean that you can, steal it, motherfucker. So and Johnny Fairplay pulled some shit like that with me too. And that's why I stopped talking to him. Fuck him. So
Johnny Fairplay. Oh boy.
but my show is like so different than Rob. Rob's is just like, okay, everybody has to kiss CBS's ass. You
Yeah.
don't say anything like sideways. I want access. Where I'm just like, I'll just rip on everybody and anybody. I don't give a fuck if it's, the president of CBS, like Moonves, who got Me Too'd and talking shit about him, or how Julie Chen, all of a sudden is like a cult member to religion.
Did you see her sweatshirt? Her new merchandise she's selling?
What is it?
Oh, let me pull this up. You're gonna get a kick out of this. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Last year during
I liked Julie until she got all religious and she just became such a fucking phony.
here, let me see. Let me see if we see this.
Is
Yeah,
it but
right
first?
here. So it says Jesus is my head of household.
Such a weirdo.
it's very
But she doesn't want to take any accountability for what her husband. Not that she's accountable for what her husband does or did, but she's like, I'll stand by my man. I don't care how many people are in his office.
Yeah, I went to do you know the comedian Kathy Griffin? Yeah. So I went to her show a few nights ago. She showed the story about like a few months ago. She went to a restaurant in the Beverly Hills Hotel, and she's going to her area, and the area was empty except Les Moonves. So she walks over there and she's like, "Oh, hey, Les, how's it going?" And he goes, "Oh, Kathy, it's been so long." And then she, in front of him, went to the waitstaff and goes, "Sir, do you mind moving me? I don't like sitting near." And then she walked away from him. And I just thought that was so funny because no one talks about it. They just just kind of let it happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just a weird thing, man.
Yeah.
And she was like so like hard on Camilla Cosby on like the talk,
Yeah.
uh, saying that, how can you stand by your man? Da, da, he all these people and telling her what she should do. And then shit comes down and all of this comes out about her husband. And what does she do? The exact same thing. It's like such a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But then she leads on religion. It's like, well, listen, that's between us and God. Like, no, not really. Like he didn't fuck God.
No, he
He
did.
fucked all these people. Is who he so or
Yeah.
sexually assaulted or whatever, and
Yeah.
or so I don't
Yep.
know. I just find her like really weird. How do we get on Julie Chen?
I don't know. We always talking about Julie Chen. There, and you got
Julie Chen should retire. Julie Chen
yeah.
should retire. Jeff Probst should retire, and that Phil guy from Amazing Race should retire. And then they should. What CBS should do is like a full sweep of all the reality shows. Give them new faces, new production companies, like a whole facelift. And I'm not talking about more twists, bigger twists. No, just go back to the fucking basics. And they're good shows without the bullshit. So,
Yeah.
Who do you think should host if they changed it up?
well, uh, CBS, the woke network, they would replace Jeff Probst with someone black, probably a woman, maybe a trans. Uh, Listen, I have no problem with trans people or black people, but this is like, it's just, I don't know, gotten kind of crazy with all this woke bullshit. Um,
Jerry O'Connell for Big Brother?
yeah, because I sound like a crazy right-wing person. But the thing is like, if the left didn't go so fucking nutso left, this is the backlash from the right, is what's happening now. Because it did go way too far with so much of this bullshit. But anyhow, we're off of politics and we're on to the it's just like new, younger people with like energy, man. Not the
Yeah.
same fucking bullshit that we've been hearing from fucking Julie Chen that she thinks is so cute. Oh, I'm Chenbot. No, you got the name Chenbot because you're so fucking robotic.
She had the opportunity to use Chenbot in the AI season, and they used some like weird, bad graphic design Ainsley.
Stupidest fucking thing I ever saw in my entire goddamn life.
I know.
It was like, I don't even understand. It's like, did they give you like $9.95 for fucking CGI? Like, what the fuck is happening
It was
here?
bad.
Like a college student, with Pro Tools could do a better job
Yeah.
than this bullshit that you're putting on television.
It was also weird to do an AI theme season right after the writer's strike, where AI's, taking their jobs. Kind of stuck it to them. I don't know. Thought it was weird.
The producers really need to go on Big Brother, and like Probst needs to go. Probst thinks he's just knows more than anyone. He fired Lynn Spillman, who is the casting agent for Survivor, that gave us all of the most memorable characters. And like what they do now is they don't. Even Probst is like, I don't want villains. What, you just want ball lickers? Like, seriously, villains are the most memorable people.
They make the
They're
show.
the most fun people. And those are the people that the audience likes the most. And you just don't have them anymore. They don't cast for, they want the show to be the star. And they get bent when you have like these people that like stand out and like kind of steal the show. And they don't like that.
No.
They want the show to be the star. So, and I think that's an enormous mistake, because when the show was huge, when these shows were huge, was when you had these people that were like these standout, stars from the show. Now it's like, even talking with you guys, it's like, who's that?
Exactly,
Who's
yeah.
that? That?
Yeah, right.
It was only like last fucking season. I don't remember like half the cast. Survivor, they do like their reunion show, and I'm sitting there going, who the fuck are these people? Like that, they've gained like 20 or 30 pounds. They're shaven. Women have like earrings in and their hair done. It's like I have no idea who the fuck these people are. I'm on my phone like Googling the cast of this season, trying to figure out who they are. So I don't know. The shows just they really need a revamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Theron, you got any final questions? Any final thoughts?
No, I think this is where Evil Dick, we turn it over to you. If there's any final things you want to say to the sweet taters, as you so aptly named them.
Sweet taters. Sweet taters. It sounds really perverted.
Yeah, it does.
Thanks for listening to my bullshit. Uh, you know, subscribe to Dick and Nite. Next, all I'm doing is Big Brother US now. I was doing Big Brother Canada, but I gave that up, and then the show got canceled. They did to themselves. It's like so fucking weird because Big Brother Canada turned on its audience, and they cut the feeds, and they said the producer and the host both said, fuck these people that are crying about no feeds. We don't care. And the show went off the air like the year after. So it's like, and they're like, oh, we didn't really mean it. No, fuck you. You basically said fuck you to the audience, and
Yeah.
you don't want to listen to anybody. And now your show's gone. Now you're crying about it. So, but I quit doing recaps of Big Brother Canada before that. Got so ridiculous with their bullshit. So, and then Survivor, I couldn't take, honestly, I just couldn't take Probst anymore. I loathe Jeff Probst. Like if he got hit by a car tomorrow and like was on life support, I'd go unplug the fucking machine. I just wouldn't give a fuck. Fuck that guy.
Oh God. Well, that's
man.
Dick and Nite is Patreon right now, right?
Yeah. Vimeo kicked me off. Well, they kicked everybody off. It's weird. Vimeo's weird. I think they're going through some corporate bullshit. But Patreon welcomed me with open arms. They've been very, very nice to me. So yeah, it'll be over at Patreon. So it's like patreon.com/Dick at Night, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll link it in the description and stuff
Yeah.
so people can go check that out.
I think that's what it is. So, but I'm only doing shows now for Big Brother US. So I was planning on doing some like kind of interval, but I've just kind of been like busy settling in with this new life in a new country over here. So
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yep,
man,
thank you
thanks
very
for having
much.
me. It's been fun.
It has been very
That's
fun.
been Evil Dick
And
Donato,
if you did put me
everybody.
on the spot trying to find something nice to say about Jen Johnson.
I know that I've never seen you struggle.
Very good at meditation.
She's very good at being a nanny, very good at meditation. There you go.